All right. Hello, everyone. We hope you have enjoyed the session so far today. My name is Jasmine, and I'm an event production manager here at the American Marketing Association. I am pleased to welcome you to this conference final session, Unleashing the Power of Organic Search, How to Supercharge Your SEO in 2023 and Beyond, brought to you by Resolve. Before our session today, I'd like to go over a few of the features that you can interact with during the session. On the right side of your screen, you can see a chat box. Be sure to use the chat feature to interact and network and ask questions. We will be answering questions during the live Q&A at the end of this session. And with that, I am pleased to welcome today's speaker, Michael Johnson, CEO and Chief Strategist at Resolve. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Jasmine. Everybody, thank you so much for joining the presentation today. I'm super excited to go over this. I titled my presentation, Unleashing the Power of Organic Search, How to Supercharge Your SEO Strategy in 2023 and Beyond. To kind of provide a little bit of background of myself. So as Jasmine mentioned, I'm Michael. I'm the CEO at Resolve. I've had 11 years in the SEO industry now. Over that time, I've developed strategies for hundreds of companies ranging from SMBs all the way up to Fortune 500 companies that you know and love and use every day. I've spoken to a lot of different conferences over the years, whether it's SMX, Content Marketing World, or even AMA historically as well. I've had a chance to meet with a lot of people over that time, hear their challenges, their issues that they're running into, and after having hundreds, if not thousands, of discussions with people about their SEO and the challenges, I just found consistently the same things that seem to work for brands that are succeeding and things that aren't happening for brands that are struggling. And so really what I kind of used that to do over the last couple of years is put together a framework of the core components of SEO that you've got to have in place. Give you the tactical knowledge and tips that you need to be able to execute and implement on those. One thing I'm really big on with presentations is, not just dumping a bunch of information or sales stuff at you, but really giving you tactical and practical knowledge that you can start using today to improve your SEO efforts. So what we're going to cover today are the pillars of SEO ranking. So what it is that really helps the website rank. We're going to talk about keyword research, how to do it effectively, how to create content for your audience. We're going to talk about how to earn quality backlinks through manual outreach and PR. And then we're talking about how to create an SEO strategy that can drive thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of additional visitors to your website each month. So let's start off by talking about SEO from the frame of what matters to Google from Google themselves. Andre Lepatzev was asked in an interview a few years back, what are the primary ranking factors? He says, I can tell you what they are. It is content and it's links pointing to your website. Really, for all the things that we can talk about, whether it's schema, whether it's internal linking structures and all these things, at the end of the day, if you don't have great content and you don't have relevant quality backlinks to support that content, it's going to be hard to rank in Google. So a lot of the modern SEO landscape today, especially over the last couple of years with the helpful content update that came out, revolves around the concept of EAT, E-E-A-T, which stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. If your website and your content doesn't carry these 4 attributes, it's going to be really hard for you to rank and to succeed in Google. So here's a few things that you kind of want to ask yourself to see if your website and your content checks these boxes. When it comes to experience, do you or your company have experience, firsthand experience in the thing that you are writing about? Have you actually done it before? And if somebody asked you a question about it, could you elaborate on it? Could you carry a conversation with somebody on the subject that you're discussing? The reason why this is important is because with AI content coming out lately, Google wants content that is actually made for humans. So if you just have an AI crank out an article about a topic, it won't have that experience factor. So that's why having human intervention and touch on your content is important. Expertise. Does your content demonstrate depth and breadth? If someone looked at your website, would they feel like you are a subject matter expert from what the information and content that's on your website? And do you specialize in this area? If you are an accounting firm, let's say, and you're the greatest accountant in the world, but you don't have content on your website that backs that, it's hard for Google to know that. So your content really does express the internal expertise that you have and your brand has on your website. Authoritativeness. What external evidence is there for your expertise? So it's one thing to say on your website that you're great and that you know the most of anybody, but how can Google tell if other people trust you? Do other experts trust your content? And are you an authority on this subject matter? And this is where backlinks come into play, is this authority aspect. And so we'll talk about this more as the conversation continues. And then last, trustworthiness. And this is one of the most important aspects. Is what you're saying true? Are you citing reliable sources within your content? And are you taking other views into account? Are you doing something that's too biased one way or another, right? But really, if you're trying to push false narratives, false information, if you're not well-sourced, providing well-sourced information, again, you're going to struggle to rank in Google. So let's first start talking about keyword research. To me, keyword research is kind of the foundation of your SEO strategy, because it doesn't matter how well you optimize your website if you're not optimizing it for keywords that actually get searched or that actually matter to your audience. So when do you need keyword research? You need keyword research in three main situations. You want to rank for new or more keywords for your website. You want to improve rankings for a specific keyword theme, or you want to know what pages on your website would benefit most from link building. And again, if you're not familiar with the concept of link building, we'll talk plenty about it later in the presentation. So situation number one, you need to rank for more keywords. If that's where you're at right now, you either A, haven't started your keyword research journey or SEO journey, or B, you've started but you want more. Really, the core of this is going to start with competitor research. So this is going to require you to figure out what other brands in your space are doing for a keyword strategy and what is driving traffic in your industry. So the process for this, what you're going to do is first Google the primary keyword you would use to describe your business. So think like, what are we and what do we do? And Google those phrases and then see who's ranking on page one. And you're going to try to grab three competitors. You're going to try to grab a competitor that's bigger than you, that has a higher domain authority or domain rating. You're going to find one with a similar and then one with a lower, if possible. If you can't find brands on page one that you qualify for each of those, that's fine. Just find three that are, different points. Then you're going to put each competitor into SEMrush, which is an awesome tool for keyword research. If we have time in the Q&A, I'll show you. And you're going to analyze keyword data. So what you want to see is what are the themes, the keywords, the content pieces, the pages on their site that are driving the most traffic in your industry and in your space. You want to see what is working for the brands that are already ranking, that are already driving traffic, and see what they have that you're missing. A lot of this is kind of what I refer to as gap analysis. Where's your competitor at? Why are they there? Where are you at? And what's missing to help you close that gap? So let's show an example. Let's say you are Paycom. Paycom is a payroll software company. You've probably seen their ads before on TV, Hulu, YouTube, all across the web. They've got Barbara Corcoran doing ads from Shark Tank. They've got this influencer gal from social media that does stuff. And they've got this hunk for the unnecessary action hero. They've probably spent millions and millions of dollars on creating these ads, getting these endorsements, and buying that ad space. They capture 773,000 visitors per month in organic search, but only 5% of that comes from non-branded search. That means that if you've never unless you've already heard of Paycom, you will probably never find them in organic search, because you will probably only be able to find them if you search for them by name. So even if they were just to put in a fraction of the budget they put into their ads into SEO, into content creation, they could probably be driving a much larger amount of traffic. And the way that I know that is that when I did this same process I mentioned to you earlier, I found two competitors that are driving 10x and 5x the amount of monthly non-branded search traffic that they were. And these are smaller brands in one case for sure, with Patriot Software and Gusto. Patriot Software, though, is the one I really want to stand out. They're the smallest brand out of all of these, and they drive all the most non-branded search traffic. They drive almost 300,000 people per month to their website who've likely never heard of them before. And the way that they did this, so when I got the data put together, I put it into Excel, what I was able to find was that the top traffic driving pages were all blog content. They were using blog content on their website as a way to attract hundreds of thousands of visitors per month to their website. And the kind of content that they're creating, it's nothing like incredible or special. They're just answering questions that their audience might have, that business owners who are trying to do payroll themselves might run into, or that, accounting or payroll specialists might ask, what is EFTPS? Who qualifies for time and a half? How to calculate an employee raise? These are just things that people might ask on a day-to-day basis in their jobs, and they're showing up for it. It's awesome. It's a great example of a brand that really leaned into content strategy and is being rewarded greatly for it. So the next thing we'll look at here is, let's say you want to target a specific audience or topic. So again, we're going to go back to SEMrush for this. SEMrush has a tool called the Keyword Magic tool. And so what you're going to do is you're going to type in a primary keyword. So let's say you are an education website, and I have an example of this later, and you want to rank better for sports in America, or the history of sports in America. So you might type in like American sports or sports in general. You'll look at what themes and variations show up the most. Now, let's say you or your client has a low domain authority site. What that means is that you're going to have a hard time competing for really difficult or competitive keywords. So you want to set a filter in SEMrush for a keyword difficulty of lower than 50. And what this does is then helps you to get lower competition keywords. So to find low-hanging fruit, you'll filter the keywords by keywords that get at least 100 searches per month or more. You'll sort by the lowest keyword difficulty, and then start looking for the themes that are regularly showing up as you are looking through those keywords. You might see like, oh, this phrase or this question is getting asked regularly, or variations of this are, okay, that's a piece of content you want to create for your website. The last thing is just analyze what's already ranking for the keyword that you want to rank for. Sometimes you want to create a piece that is very specific about a specific question, or sometimes you'll see that a question is usually being answered within a broader, larger piece of content. So just make sure that you're aligning your piece with what's ranking. When it comes to doing competitor research, some things to really kind of think about is, number one, I call this user first keyword research. So find what questions your target audience are searching for. Ask yourself, what problems can you solve for your target audience? What related challenges might they be facing to that problem? And what might they search for when trying to solve the problem themselves? A lot of times we think about, like, and we'll talk about this in a minute, how do I get someone to buy from me right now? What are they searching for when they're looking to buy my software or buy my solution or my service? That's not usually where you get a chance to get in front of a customer. Usually at that point, they're already finding solutions. You want to get to them when they're in the awareness or consideration phase. So by doing this, you can help get yourself in front of them at the right times. Use a Q&A style. So we'll talk about this when we put together the content, but if you can use the questions that people are asking as headers within your content and then answer it within the body of the text, that will also help you to perform better. And then last, compare and contrast similar concepts. So use stuff like X versus Y. So what's the difference between a kangaroo and a wallaby? That was a content piece we created for one of our clients. And it not only ranked for kangaroo versus wallaby, it ranked for kangaroo and, kangaroo queries and wallaby queries. So that's how you can kind of tackle two concepts at once and capture a lot of traffic. The last thing is if you want to look for pages on your site that provide the best opportunity for growth, that would be primed for link building, you'll do a very similar process. And this is something that's kind of technical. And if you guys want me to show you after the presentation, I'm happy to do it, or you're welcome to schedule some time with me and I'll help build these for you and show you the process. But what you'll do is you'll pull up your website or your client's website in SEMrush. You're going to look at keywords And then you're going to filter keywords by positions 5 to 25. So why this works is that you want to see keywords that you're already ranking pretty well for, but maybe just need a little extra push to get them up to where people are going to start clicking on your results. So you're going to filter by key positions 5 to 25. You export that data and you turn it into a pivot table in Excel, just to kind of show you really quick, what these look like. I'll pull one over here so you can see it. What this does is this shows you this is the amount of potential search traffic that I have available to me. This is how much traffic my page is currently getting. And these are the keywords that are currently ranking, right? So for this site, we see that they have a ton of keywords ranking in position, 9 to 20, and they have a ton of search volume. So if they could even move up a few spots in Google, by doing link building or better optimizing their piece, they could drive thousands of additional visitors per month. So that's why these are really helpful and help create a clear picture for you. Then the last thing you want to do is then find out how many backlinks does each of these pages have. If a page has a lot of search volume ranking between positions 5 and 25 and has 10 or less backlinks pointing to it, those are like your prime pieces that you want to promote and start getting links for. The last thing is, I kind of mentioned this earlier, when it comes to creating content, you want to use your primary keyword or phrase in the title tag of the page, the H1. You want to use it in the first paragraph and the last paragraph. That's just a basic formula that I see SEOs recommend time and time again, that really works to help stress with Google the phrase that you're trying to rank for. I mentioned earlier, if you can use a Q&A format with your H2s when possible, that'll help you out. Compare and contrast content does very well in Google. Use it whenever you can. And then last, make sure that your content is robust enough to rank. If you find that all of the pages that are ranking on page 1 are 3,000 words long, but your article is only 800 words long, you probably aren't going into depth enough to really cover that topic thoroughly. So make sure that you're aligning your piece well. All right. So for content strategy, most of your opportunity to market to your customers exists in the top 3 phases of the marketing funnel. And this is how Google looks too. People think that Google's a place that people go to buy things, that it's a mall, and it's not. Google is a library. It's a place where people go to get information. And so most searches in Google happen up here. So if you are not answering questions or helping your audience in these stages of the marketing funnel, you're missing out on the vast majority of search traffic. So think about, how can I get in front of people as they're discovering that they have a problem, not when they're finally looking to make their final buying decision. An example of why this matters is something that actually happened to me a few months ago. My car blinker on my car was blinking super fast, and I couldn't figure out what that meant or how to fix it. So I didn't Google, I need a new headlight or buy a headlight. I searched, why is my car blinker blinking fast? And what showed up first was Napa. Napa has an article that literally answers that question. Why does my car turn signal blink fast? Clicked the article, found out, yep, it's because my headlight my turning signal light's messed up. I need to buy a new one. And I was able to then go to their website and buy one. If they hadn't taken the time to write this article, you can see Google was not ranking headlight product pages when people Google that. They're ranking pages that answer that question. So if they didn't have that piece of content, they wouldn't have gotten in front of me. They wouldn't have been introduced to me, and they would have missed out on a lot of search traffic and sales and getting their brand introduced to audiences that they can solve problems for. So that's a great example of how creating that top and mid funnel content helps you to then convert into transactional value for your brand. So one thing that a lot of people talk about in the SEO content space right now is creating content pillars. So the basic idea is that you find a topic, a broad topic, and you create a kind of pillar piece, a main piece that will rank for it. Underneath that, you create a sub pillar that is about other topics, that are underneath that. And then you create smaller subtopic pieces that live underneath that. The idea is to create kind of an authoritative library of a certain topic. So an example of one that I created for a client was they wanted to rank better for the history of sports in America. So we had a main pillar piece that talked about the history of sports in America. We then had a second layer of pieces about the different sports that get played in America. And underneath those, we had biographical pieces about athletes that played in each sport. So you have a high level piece, you have your subtopics, and then you have specific topics or questions that you can answer within that. The problem is that so many brands are doing this now that if you do this and everyone else is doing it, what is going to make your content stand apart from theirs, and what's going to help you to perform better? Remember what Google said. They said it's content and it's links. So you need to power your content with external backlinks. I really wish I could have had like a cool graphic with like the lightning flashing. That would have been cool. Didn't happen this time, but the concept is the same. You need to power this with backlinks from other websites. And the way to do that is creating linkable content, bringing authority into your site by having content that people want to link to, and then internally linking that content to the different pieces of content that you have in your content pillars to help support those pieces and prop those up. So what is linkable content? Linkable content is top of the funnel, audience-focused content. It provides valuable information, it solves problems, and it answers questions. Again, so what does it mean that it's top of the funnel? It means that it attracts people to your website. This content is not meant to sell your brand, sell your product. The minute that you get promotional with it, you're not going to get a lot of backlinks to it because people link out to things that help their audience. So think about how you can help people with your content. So always ask yourself when you're creating linkable content and you're planning on outreaching to promote this content, what is the impression I want to leave? Do I want to be looking like a pushy salesperson with, bait and switch, or do I want to be a trusted source of helpful information? So audience focused. If your content is relevant to everybody, it's relevant to nobody. So make sure you have a specific audience and create content that doesn't just focus on who buys from you, but who might link to you. Create content that builds bridges to new audiences and new groups online. So the first concept of linkable content we're going to talk about is link generating guides. These are long form pieces of content that are designed to help you earn links from relevant resource pages on the web. So let's say you are Dentrix. They're a dental software company. We want to connect them with an audience that has a lot of resource pages dedicated to them. So one of the things that I started doing was what kinds of pages link out. Usually it's resource and links pages. So what you want to find are what are audiences that have a lot of resource pages dedicated to them. When you find the resource pages for this audience, what kinds of resources are they linking to? And what topics are or aren't being mentioned consistently? So one of the things that I found as I was looking through dental resource pages was I found this guide on a website called Byte, and they had a guide to dental care for children with autism. What I found was that this guide, it was, first of all, super helpful, help parents really prepare their kids who have autism, have a successful visit to the dentist, because there's a lot of stimuli and things like that can be stressful for them. So they created this guide that provided all this helpful information. It earned 80 backlinks for Byte. And some of these came from .edu and .gov websites. So super authoritative backlinks that really helped to boost their website. So if I'm Dentrix, I know there's a huge opportunity to create a dental health guide for parents of children with special needs. This can help me get links from dental resource pages, parental resource pages, and then resources pages dedicated to the specific conditions that I mentioned in my guide. So this is a guide that connects us with 3 spheres of relevancy or 3 audiences. So again, create that. If we want to kind of talk about what this link generating guide concept is about, create a top of the funnel audience focused content piece, look at what kinds of pages people generally link from and see what trends you can pick up. And then look for examples of successful linkable content. Use that inspiration to help you create one. We're running low on time here, so I'm going to speed through here. Digital PR magnets. This is like my favorite link building tactic. It's something we've been able to use to get some amazing links. The idea is to create a long form piece of content that will help you get links from journalists at newspapers, radio stations, TV stations, etc. You want to target a concept that is a macro trend. This means something that has been in the news for a while and will continue to be in the news. So think about things like work from home, AI, the recession, self-care, etc. We had a client in the aquarium space. So they, have like children's aquariums, touch and feel animals. We created a guide about the most Googled mythical creatures in America. It was animal related, and it's on a topic that people always kind of seem to have fun with. And we broke it out state by state. and created a ranking for the most Googled creature from each state. This helped create local relevance with people in each state that we were trying to target. So we created a multimedia piece to help it stand out. We had some awesome graphics, mugshots of each creature that we featured. And this helped us get over 20 backlinks for our client from a variety of radio stations, news stations. NBC New York picked up the piece. We got a link from Yahoo News. We got some awesome authoritative backlinks for our client using this piece. So I highly recommend using this. There's a software called Prowly that you can use to help you with your PR outreach to have success there. So how to promote your content. We want to find out what makes a good target site. We want to find out how to find suitable target sites, how to find contact information, and best practice for outreach. So what makes a good target site to get a link from? So many people will tell you just go for high DA, high domain authority websites. Don't use that as your only metric. First, use relevance. What is a good audience? What's a relevant audience? What makes sense to Google and users for me to be on? Next, look at engagement. Does the website get traffic? Does it have a dedicated audience? And then last, look at authority. So then you can look at the authority metric to see if it's going to carry weight. The reason why we don't set minimum DA is because let's say we were trying to get links for Dentrix, like we mentioned before. I found all these websites that are dental offices. They're all lower DA websites. But what would be a better endorsement of a dental software than dentists themselves linking to their website, right? You got to think like logically, not just what a third-party tool tells you, but really what would be an authoritative source for your site. And these are great links for this client to have. So how did I find those sites? This is where you can use Boolean operators to help you identify good sites. So I used Boolean operator that was keyword plus in URL links or in URL resources. So for this, I did dental in URL links, and this gave me links pages, sites that are listing links from dental websites that I can then add to my list of sites to outreach to get added. One thing I noticed was that I was getting a lot of dog chew toys. So one thing you can do to kind of filter out sites you don't want is do minus keywords. So I might add minus dog so I don't get dog related pages. So tools to help you check the sites. For authority, you can use Moz or Ahrefs. For traffic, you can use SEMrush or Ahrefs as well. Again, Ahrefs or SEMrush are both great tools if you're looking at getting into SEO and you want something to give you some direction. Most importantly, though, use relevance. And the best source of relevance is your brain. Relevance is the greatest human factor in link building. It holds us accountable to providing real value to users on the web. Last, how to find contact information. Really scour the pages to make sure that you are finding the most relevant person to reach out to. If you can find contact info on the page, great. If not, try to find an email address for a real person on the website. And then last, do a contact form. But contact forms really should be your last resort. We'll go to this one later, or maybe after the presentation if you want to chat with me in the booth. The last thing, sending authentic outreach. Get to the point. If you are too long-winded, if you have too much information, people are going to ignore it. Really get to the point of what you're trying to say. Don't just tell them, show them. Include a link to the page that you want to link to, and then list the URL on their website that you want the link from. Make it really easy for them to follow through on your request. And then last, avoid promotional or vague language. If you get salesy, you promote your brand, it's going to go where all their other sales pitches go, in the trash. Get to the point. And then last, let them know that you're planning on following up with them. That will help encourage them to respond to you. So let's bring it all together. If we're a dental client, we want to get dental, we'll create a dental health guide for parents of children with disabilities. We'll use these Boolean operators to find sites. These are sites that I found that I want links from, found some nice .edus along the way, as well as dental websites. We found contact information by looking at the pages, contact us. I created an email outreach that was simple, to the point, provided links to the pages that I wanted to link to, the page I wanted to link from, and I offered to follow up with them. The idea is that you get links from third-party sites into your link magnets. You internally link those to conversion pages and middle of the funnel content. And what's great about this is that it's not just a campaign, it's a system, it's repeatable. You can consistently create new assets, target new audiences to build fresh links that bring authority into your website and help you to rank better. I feel like Charlie from it's always sunny whenever I pull that thing up. So we'll kind of skip through a couple things here. Obligatory AI slide, because if you don't talk about AI, you're not relevant. Don't use AI at its lowest barrier of entry. If you just send ChatGPT to write a blog post about X, that page will never rank. Use AI to help you along the way. Use it to help you come up with topics. Use it to help you research and create outlines for your content, and then use that to make your content better. This stuff works. It's a lot of work to do this, to create a content strategy, to do the keyword research. But I mean, we've helped clients grow traffic by hundreds of thousands of visitors per month. This is a client that we just met at the last AMA conference that I presented at, and we helped them increase their traffic by 50% over the last 6 months since that. So great progress you can make with these. If you want to have us help you with this, I put a QR code right here. You're welcome to scan this right now. You can schedule an appointment with me, and I'll put together a free ranking roadmap for you. This will show you a brief competitor analysis. You'll have keyword opportunities for where best opportunities for growth are, and I'll do linkable content idea for you. So come up with a resource guide idea for your brand. And if you end up wanting to work with us after, we'll give you a 10% discount on the package. So I'll leave this up here for one more second in case you want to scan that and set up an appointment with me. But thank you all so much for checking out the presentation. I know I ran a little over here. Jasmine, let me know if I can answer some questions real quick, or if we need to bounce.
Yeah, we probably have room for just one question. There were so many questions in the Q&A, and I'm sorry we can't get to all of them. Let's see.
All right. I want to see here, or what are backlinks you can show as an example. I can definitely show you guys those. So if you guys want to go to our booth after this, I'll be hanging out and answering questions there in the chat. I'll probably just copy and paste all these questions and put them into the chat there, and then I can answer the questions. One of the questions is, how do I think AI will impact SEO? It's definitely going to impact SEO. It definitely already is impacting SEO. Google's released algorithm updates already to kind of make sure that people aren't gaming the system too hard. But so basically, they're releasing SGE, which is search generative. So basically, like, it'll help you with your searches while you using AI in the search results. That's going to take up some of the real estate on page one. So really, it's important now more than ever to get your content to rank highly, because people aren't going to scroll as far down on the pages. So that's one thing that's really important. Number two, again, AI just means that you need to create content that is better quality. Low quality boilerplate content that can now be spewed out quickly and easily. And Google will filter out the junk that AI creates. But if you don't create something that's better than AI, then you're gonna have a hard time ranking. So really make sure that you're tackling expertise, experience, authoritativeness, trustworthiness with your content. And that will help you beat AI with your content on Google. I went ahead and copy and pasted these questions. So I'll be hanging out in our booth, and I can definitely answer some questions for everybody in there if you guys want to hop over.
Love it. Michael, this is amazing. So much wonderful information. Thank you again for this wonderful presentation, and thank you everyone for attending. This video will be available on demand later today, right in the platform under the schedule tab. The slides have been added, so you guys might just need to refresh your screen really quickly, so you guys do have access to that. Now you can head over to Resolve's exhibitor booth and learn more. Of course, Michael said he will be answering those questions. Excuse me, misspeaking before as I was introducing the session, this is not the last session, so don't forget to tune back in for Telium's session, Marketing in a Downturn, Practical Strategies for a Powerful CX. And thank you, Michael, and thank you everyone again for attending today.
Thanks, Jasmine.
Thank you.